Good morning, everybody. Just wanted to check in with you and make sure everybody's doing okay. Uh, Wanted to talk a little bit about misbehavior today. And we don't normally think of it in this fashion, but the concept of appreciating misbehavior. And so today I just want to talk about 7 things. Many of you might have already read the book that's called Easy to Love, Difficult to Discipline by Becky Bailey. But we use a lot of conscious discipline um, ideas and concepts in the classroom and in my own life. And so, anyway, I want to just talk about the seven concepts of appreciating misbehavior this week. And so the first one is through misbehavior, children learn what is safe and what is not, right? And it goes back to the old adage of, touching the hot stove, right? They find out pretty quickly that that stove is hot. Um, and so if we have the child who, runs to the corner and you're screaming and saying, stop, stop, stop at the corner. And the child says, Mommy, what's the corner, right? And so all of these things lead to, we might see them as misbehaviors, but it's part of the learning process. The second one is that misbehavior teaches children how to communicate in order to get their needs met, right? And so sometimes we're just like, you little toot, why are you doing that? When in reality, they're trying to get their needs met. Let me just read this quick one to you. It's kind of interesting. Megan, age 4, and her mom were in the grocery store when Megan dashed away from her mother down the aisle where the toys were shelved. Fury came over her mother. After she found Megan, she grabbed her shoulders and said, "Never leave my side in a store. Never." Tears rolled down Megan's cheeks as she pointed to a doll. Her mother rolled her eyes and began walking away. Megan grabbed the doll and pursued her mother, who said, "No, you have 100 dolls." Megan began whining. "Not like this one." Finally, her mom said, "Okay, but that is all you get today." Mom has now taught Megan how to get what she wants. She must run off to locate it, ignore her mother's comments, and then beg. All misbehavior offers an opportunity to teach and to learn, right? And so, as we think about what are our children learning as they misbehave, right? And so, that could have been a different story had Megan ran off and mother found her and they had a little conversation about how I'm feeling as the mother. And if you want to go see the dolls, then we need to talk about that, right? But talking about what is expected rather than just in our fury, as the book said, in our fury, teaching them something that we probably don't want to teach them at the time. The third one is misbehavior helps children learn what thoughts, feelings, and behaviors are appropriate to have towards others, right? Many times we find ourselves as our children might hit another children. The first thing out of our mouth is, "Was that a good thing to do? Was that nice?" When in reality, we know as the adult that it wasn't, right? And so being able to, there again, not be in our brainstem, but be in our brain, thinking brain, and have a conversation with the child about, look what happens when we hit Johnny. This is what happens. Johnny, how are you feeling when this happens, right? And having a conversation and then talking about things that we could do. So if Johnny takes your toy, buddy, then the thing that you need to do is say, "Johnny, I was playing with that," right? And we still may need to intervene as the adult in a child's life, but being able to help them figure out how to behave towards others. It's a good learning moment for us. Number 4, misbehavior teaches children how to say yes to healthy things and no to unhealthy things, right? Saying no really is pretty powerful in our life. Sometimes we're afraid to say that. But helping the children to feel no means no, right? And sometimes if we beg often or long enough as a child, our parent is going to say yes. And so being able to help them understand that, no, this is not going to, I am not going to say yes at this point. Many times in the classroom, the children will say, "Well, I just want," I'm like, what is my job? I know to keep us safe, right? Okay, so I'm not going to change my mind because my job is to keep you safe. If I say yes to this, then you might not be safe. And so helping them to make healthy choices, right? Be able to say no is number 4. Number 5 is misbehavior defines for children what is their business and what is not their business, right? So, as a conflict arises, then we have another teaching moment. That's all we have in life is teaching moments, isn't it? But when we, quite often they're like, well, they made me do it because they hit me first, and but we're able to talk to them, right? Talk to them about, so what happened? I love it when the book says, is April your boss? Can she tell you what to think and feel and do? Right? And so just talk to them about other choices. No, you had other choices. You could have done this, but you could have done this, and you could have done this. Right? And so helping them define what is their business and what isn't. Number 6, misbehavior teaches children responsibility. I think that comes without much explanation, much needed explanation. But the responsibility is the ability to respond, right, in the moment. And so many times children are communicating by the way they respond. And so our job is to help them figure that out, that we have a responsibility. If we knew how to behave, we wouldn't be misbehaving, right? And that's why many times we would never use the word misbehave with adults, with our roommates, with our spouses, with our partners. We would just never say, stop misbehaving. We use that all the time with children, right? And it doesn't make any sense in my brain, because really the children are the ones that are learning how to behave. The adults usually already know how to behave. So in actuality, we are misbehaving, but the children are learning how to behave. So anyway, food for thought today. And then the last one is misbehavior provides children with opportunities to learn self-awareness and self-discipline. So as we think about self-regulation, right, the only way that we have to get ourselves out of these out of control moments is to self-regulate. And if you've watched any of the other videos on Just Keep Parenting, you know that one of my favorite ways to self-regulate is to lotion up, right? And so to put on some lotion when I'm feeling, when I have anxiety, when I am angry, when I'm feeling nervous about something, I get out the lotion and I rub it together. Some of the kids have noticed, Miss Story, are you feeling okay? You're putting on lotion again. Yep, I'm feeling better. This is a tool that I'm using to make myself calm down and feel better, right? And so I was talking with a niece the other day, and one of the things we were talking about was this misbehavior. And sometimes the misbehavior leads to just meltdowns, right? And one of the things we talked about was for this child to be able to see his parents using the technique, right? Whatever the technique is, whether it's I'm going to go for a walk because I'm angry right now and I need to calm down, or I'm going to go drink a big glass of water, or I'm going to go in my bedroom for a few minutes. Whatever the tool is that you're using, we need to talk about those tools in front of our children so that they can see that our parents do get mad. They probably see that anyway. But more importantly, this is what my parent does, right, to self-regulate. When misbehavior is a possibility, this is what they do. So if you want a great book, go look at Easy to Love, Difficult to Discipline. Turning the 7 basic skills for turning conflict into cooperation. We use this as a parenting class up on campus, but it's one of my favorite books. It's a fairly easy read. It's nice to implement, work on one skill, and then implement another skill. So appreciate misbehavior this week. Think about what your child is communicating with us as we go down this misbehavior path and being able to say, what can I do to help change this into knowledge for them, right? So share this with somebody that you think is struggling. Might make their day a little bit better by understanding that it is okay to appreciate misbehavior in children because it's a learning moment for them and usually for the adult in their life. Hope you're all doing well, and go ahead and enjoy children today. Just keep parenting, everybody. Thanks for joining us.